A very good morning, students. Hopefully all of you did go through our first definition of statistics, which was statistics explained in singular sense. I hope everybody did go through that definition and understood its meaning thoroughly. Now, statistics is also defined alternatively, and that too in plural sense, as such, by a certain statistician. And what does it mean in plural sense? That is what we are going to unfold in this video. So kindly look into what I'm trying to come up with an example, and then we'll try to join the threads to come across with one good simple meaning of statistics in plural sense. Let's assume that there is a class of 5 students, A, B, C, D, E, right? And these 5 students who make up the class are appearing for accountancy paper, which is of 100 marks, right? Your economics paper will also be of 100 marks, clear? So, accounting paper is of 100 marks, and the result scored by the students in Unit 2 exams were like this. A scored 25, B scored 70, 65, 95 and 65. Now, if I take the marks of A alone individually, that is marks of one child or one individual in the whole inquiry, unfortunately, that makes it nothing as far as statistics is concerned. To have statistics, to understand statistics and its role, we need to have the marks of all of them taken together. Since our size is pretty small, all means 5 of them. When we study all of them together, right, A, B, C, D, E marks together, that's where statistics come into play. So first thing first, individual role, nothing to do with it. Statistics is aggregation. So if I have to say so, it is aggregate of data or aggregate of facts, right? Now, very importantly, there are 2 different students here, one scoring 25, one scoring 95. Now, you did not require any rocket science to know why 95 this child might have got. Quality, attendance, supreme level of concentration, and training not only done in the classroom environment but also done at home. Training, whether I also mean to say the practice as such, which the child must have put for number of hours as such to come up what it is, plus family support. So multiple reasons. And the same you can go for this one, why this child has not done well. Maybe some family issues which may have left a mental scar on the child. Lack of attendance will add insult to the injury, right? So whenever you talk about these aggregate figures, all figures are not coming from one particular source or with one particular reasoning. All are affected by different factors, and each fact has to be taken into account with respect to it, that it must be affected by a different factor. Some of them may be having common factor, but generally we assume that this 25 might be the result of some other factor affecting it in comparison to this 95, which are too extreme. So these facts which are collected, students, you have to remember it. It is affected by multiplicity of causes. When I say multiplicity of causes, I mean to say manifold reasons going into it. Clear? Now, naturally this one is comparatively bad and this one is comparatively good. But the problem with statistics is when we study these facts, we avoid coming up with these terms like good and bad. Can be ugly also, right? Concentration. Now, why we need to avoid all these facts? Because in statistics, it is the quantitative expression which matters, or numerical expression which matters, rather than the qualitative ones. These are qualitative ones. Qualitative assessment is not done generally in statistics. Clear? I hope all of you are understanding it. So these should be qualitatively expressed. Now, how they should be collected, these figures? Since teachers, we all are checking your marks with utmost precision, we can collect it in a simple manner, which you can call it as enumeration, right? The government of India is also doing enumeration in counting the number of COVID-19 infected patients in India, right? But then there are certain independent organizations which are saying that there are a number of cases which are far more than what the government has announced of COVID-19 cases. So where proper finding can be done, correct, accurate information can be collected, we say it is enumeration. But where it is not possible for statistical purpose, we can at time also go for estimation. Remember, in our example, we have gone for enumeration because it is done by the teachers concerned, right? So they must have taken utmost care in computing these figures. Now, why they have computed it? Naturally, to assess your performance. And if you assess it, total is 320 divided by 5 students. On average, the class has scored how many marks? 64 marks. So I have to say that this estimation is done, or enumeration is done for a predetermined purpose. What was that? To compute the result of the class. Now, why it is done? Naturally, it is the need of the hour, but it also helps you to compare with the quarterly one result of the same one. If it was 60%, 64 is a good progress, but it was earlier, if it was 70, then it's somewhere down the hill and something which we need to tighten the belts in the upcoming examination. I hope all of you are understanding it. So what is the 6th point which I can write is to place in relation with the other. When I say other, I mean to say the previous result. Now, that's what statistics is in plural sense. In short, I sum up, it is nothing but the aggregate of facts, not of one child, affected by multiplicity of causes, numerically expressed, not qualitatively, collected on the basis of either enumeration as we have done or estimation in a lot of cases. Both are acceptable in statistics, to achieve an objective which is predetermined purpose, and then to do a little bit of comparison, because comparison with ourselves helps us in good stead. We tend to know whether we have taken a step ahead or a step back. I hope all of you understood it. That is what statistics is in plural sense. More to come. Thank you.